Elden Ring Nightreign. This is gonna definitely be something different.
Before we begin, I just need to say that the footage in this video was provided by Bandai Namco, as no capture was permitted during the event. So unfortunately, some of the really cool things I talk about may not always be perfectly represented on screen. Now, on to the preview.
Tragedy must be averted. And for that, I need your help.
Elden Ring Nightreign is not a battle royale.
Ooh.
Not that you ever thought it was, but as a former battle royale enjoyer, I can't help but compare the white knuckle moments I get when the storm closes in on me in those last gripping moments of a half-hour-long session of a Fortnite match to the nail-biting bits where I'm desperately trying to outrun the encroaching circle and make it to a life-saving site of grace in Nightreign. PvP elements are completely absent in Nightreign, though not missed one bit. Still, you'll drop into a map with a squad, start.
This is so wild, honestly, that they did anything like this, because this was the last thing people would expect. Now, admittedly, Dark Souls PvP has been a pretty contentious thing.
From nothing and spend your time ransacking the map to hopefully power yourself up for the final battle. From the risk-reward moments of looting a church for one more flask charge as the circle closes in, to the wave of sadness you feel when experiencing a devastating loss after taking so much time building yourself up, it's hard not to see the Battle Royale influences. But after 4 hours of playing the upcoming stress test build, I'm ecstatic to report that Nightreign probably won't tarnish the Elden Ring name.
No, seriously, on your bingo list, was this actually on it? No, probably not. And it's easy to see why. You add the complexities of Elden Ring, and then you make it literally PvP, but you also need to be good at bosses. This is insanity. This is gonna be so popular when it releases, and I think this is gonna drop like a rock. Because this is gonna be niche. Okay, this is gonna be very niche, and if they simplify it for more casual audiences, I think that's gonna obviously just kind of ruin the point of what is Dark Souls in the first place, what is Elden Ring in the first place. So this is gonna be good, but it's not gonna be massively successful in my opinion. After like the first couple of weeks.
When beginning a match, you'll be given a choice to pick one of 4 available classes, though there will be a total of 8 when Nightreign launches. The current options will be the all-arounder Wilder, the speedy glass cannon Duchess, the tanky Guardian, and the magic-wielding Recluse.
Hell
Each
yeah.
class has its own strengths and weaknesses, of course, but in my time with this build, I found that the most fun class to play was the Duchess, thanks to her powerful abilities and swift and nimble dodges. I also spent some time with the Recluse, which was incredibly powerful, but I ran out of FP quite often, and with no FP flasks, they aren't in this Elden Ring, she'll definitely be one of the harder classes to play effectively. Each class comes equipped with a leveling path, which I'll talk about more in a moment, but more importantly, they all have unique skill and ultimate abilities. The Duchess, for example, has an incredibly powerful skill that repeats the last 1.5 seconds of damage an enemy has just taken, and it has a short cooldown to boot. Also, it's not just your damage, it's everyone's damage. So while you're flipping around the battlefield landing attacks, you're also waiting for huge health spikes to try and capitalize on doubling that damage. It's great.
That's pretty cool.
Great stuff.
This is already a lot more unique than you would honestly kind of expect from Elden Ring, in my honest opinion. So, interesting.
Their skills also match the class's predetermined role. The Wilder can do a blast attack to try to land big damage. The Guardian can create a large shield, both negating damage and reviving fallen allies, while the Recluse can curse an enemy, granting all attackers HP and FP bonuses. So while players can double up classes in a run, it's always a good idea to talk about team strengths and weaknesses to diversify your group. When starting completely fresh, players will find themselves in Nightreign's Roundtable Hold. After matchmaking with 2 other random players, or using a multiplayer pass.
Okay, how bad do you think it is that this is multiplayer? That you need a team for this, okay? How much of a detriment or boon do you think this is? I think it's potentially going to be really bad or really good, okay? If people of equal skill and whatnot get together and play it, I mean, that's going to be fine. But then again, yeah, I have a feeling that we have a problem here of something's going to be blatantly overpowered. It's kind of obvious that something's going to be blatantly overpowered, right? How will people deal with that?
Were to play directly with your friends, a small cutscene will play and everyone will soar over Limvale, not Limgrave, before landing and beginning their run. A full run of Nightreign lasts around 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how fast you take down the ending bosses.
Yeah, this is also a thing. Considering it's Elden Ring, you know, you're not gonna have like 5-minute matches. But is 30 minutes good enough? I mean, there is this concept in gaming: if you lose fast. Does this work with it? Because that's important for retaining people. If there is something to be learned from a loss, it doesn't matter if it's fast or long, but it kind of is better if it's fast.
While it's presented as a 3-day cycle, it really boils down to 5 separate phases: Day 1, Night 1, Day 2, Night 2, and the final boss. When Day 1 begins, the map is fully open, and that's when you'll begin exploring and leveling up. Everyone's level 1 at the outset with basic starting gear, save for relics that you're rewarded with at the end of every round that grant you persistent buffs between matches, with better relics being offered for better performances. Once landed, my team always beelined for the first enemy camp we could find for a quick boost of experience to begin leveling.
Oh, this is bad. This is real bad, actually. This is potentially a game killer. Okay? Listen, I know there's literally absolutely no overlap between Dark Souls and the World of Warcraft Battle Arena Storm something. I don't remember the name. But when you get rewarded for doing harder things or performing better, that means that people are gonna learn the map and everyone's gonna do one thing and ignore literally everything else around the map. And a fix for being like, okay, let's make things spawn at random does not work. Okay, the World of Warcraft Battle Royale thing tried this, and people fucking hated it because the reality was this happened a lot. This happened literally constantly. People play it, oh, look at that. This guy got here before me, killed the boss, got a big skill, and now I died because there's simply not enough skill to be added here. Now, granted, this does have a lot of skill in it, obviously, but, I mean, if you're just not there first and there's like this one place that gives you way more and better rewards than everything else, I mean, get fucked.
Up, which was key to defeating stronger foes. From there, you'll decide what your team wants to do by looking at the surrounding area on the map, as it will be littered with points of interest for you to explore. Each point of interest typically comes with predictable rewards. Churches will house a flash charge to increase your overall health potion uses. Castles will feature a mini-boss that drops more powerful gear, and rises, similar to Ranni's Rise found in the lands between, will present a simple puzzle to solve before entering to find even more gear. Just to name a few of many. Where to go in Limvale feels kind of overwhelming at first, but the threat of the ever-closing circle will eventually train your brain to keep on the move. Speed is the name of the game during the day cycle, and luckily everything seems to be built around that. For starters, leveling up is as quick as a button press. As I mentioned, each of the 4 network test classes has a predetermined stat upgrade path. So when you run up to a site of grace to refill your health, FP, and flash charges, you'll also be presented with the leveling menu, which only requires you to press confirm to increase your level. Heck, you may even have enough rooms to level up 3 or 4 times, and with 3 or 4 button presses, you're all done and substantially more powerful. If you have experience in Souls games, the day phases should be a breeze. While searching the map for loot upgrades, I ran into recognizable Elden Ring mobs. My team and I decided to take down a camp, but first we had to fight 3 scattered fire chariots before getting our loot reward. Another time, we climbed to the top of a castle to fight a Godskin noble. That should be scary, but with 2 other tarnished by your side, these mobs and bosses go down pretty fast. Moving around is also way faster than in the original Elden Ring. You won't be clawing the controller anymore since sprinting is moved from circle, or B, to simply clicking the left stick. Sprinting is also about twice as fast as the regular Elden Ring. Fall damage? Nope. None here. Getting down a cliff is easy, and you can even run up walls parkour style or use spirit springs to get around. Besides just rune hunting to raise your level, you'll also be trying to—
Okay, those are nice changes, definitely. Imagine taking fall damage in this, that would kill you.
build a character
Literally and metaphorically, I guess.
take on the night bosses. There is no armor, save for shields, in Nightreign. Only 6 weapon slots and 2 amulet slots. How it works is, in typical Elden Ring fashion, you can switch between your left and right-handed weapons and shields on the fly, but everything on your person will give you buffs. For example, let's say you found a Reduvia dagger with high bleed. If you so choose, this could be the start of a bleed build. Now let's say you take down a boss and you're presented with a few other weapons to choose from, and you spot a spear that increases your status effect buildups. You're not going to use that spear, as you'll want to stick with your dagger, but you'll still benefit from the status effect buildup the spear provides just by having it on your person. Think of it almost like a roguelike. Sometimes the synergy of weapon effects and stat upgrades you'll get will build off each other so well that you'll eventually start melting mobs left and right.
That is gonna be such a rigged metaphor. This is gonna be insane, okay? Yeah, okay. It kind of sounds nice, but it does... Plunderstorm. There we go. That's the World of Warcraft equivalent of this. Plunderstorm. This sounds that it has literally every single fall of Plunderstorm, but it's Dark Souls. So there you go. Oh boy, this is gonna be this is gonna be something.
Other times you'll want something like a poison build, only to keep getting weapons that increase your FP regeneration. Bummer. Weapons aren't the only rewards either. Oftentimes when looting a boss, you'll get to choose a stat upgrade or a modifier. Some of these are less exciting than others, such as a 10% increase in physical damage. Useful, yes. Exciting, not so much. Other times you'll get something really cool like a passive power-up that drops a big poise-breaking lightning strike every time you dodge, or an enemy slowing frost nova every time you begin to sprint. You can work these into your build for some powerful combinations. While the day phases can feel like a walk in the park, it's the night bosses that serve as a real skill check. After the circle has closed enough to end a day phase, a minor Erd tree will appear, signaling that it's time to take on the night boss. Over the hours I played, my team ranged from completely decimating the Night 1 boss to barely scraping by. If someone goes down, you'll revive that person by simply attacking their downed body, with ever-increasing attacks needed the more often they drop.
Oh.
Regardless, the way the Night 1 ends will usually inform you on how the rest of the run will go. I've seen teams come back from barely scraping by the Night 1 boss, but if that boss was tough, you're likely behind in your leveling and you'll have an uphill battle ahead of you to have a chance against the Night 2 boss. Day 2.
And yeah, I mean, this seems extremely not casual friendly compared to what Plunderstorm was, whatever it currently is. So, I mean, sounds fun, but this sounds like it's gonna be very niche.
2 begins the same way Day 1 did. You'll once again have a full map to explore to level and find better equipment and power-ups. Occasionally, you'll be invaded by a random Margit the Fell Omen who will chase you until he dies or he wipes your party. If your team wipes during the day, you'll drop your runes and respawn at the nearest site of grace. You can recover your runes, but the main thing lost here is time, which was wasted fighting an enemy you didn't get a reward from and wasted having to recover your lost runes. If your team wipes during a night boss, it's game over, and you'll need to begin a new run. By the time Night 2 rears its ugly head, it's time for the final skill check. During our playtest, we were met with 2 different night bosses. You'll either be faced with the Centipede Demon, who is tough but feels somewhat manageable, or 3 Sentinel Knights that really suck. In my 6 or 7 full runs of Nightreign, my team was only able to get past Night 2 just once. Finally,
Yeah, I mean, okay, listen, it is an IGN reporter currently saying this, but this is gonna be rough.
Day 3 is incredibly straightforward.
I don't know. I mean, the game sounds cool. It is cool. It's Elden Ring at the end of the day, I mean. But at the same time, like, damn, son, this is not gonna be casual friendly in the slightest.
There isn't one. Instead, you'll be able to spend your last bit of runes either leveling up or buying consumable items from a vendor, and then you and your team will take on the final boss of the run. As I mentioned before, depending on how far you got in your run, each
Wait, isn't this PvP? Huh?
player will be rewarded with a relic that provides a persistent upgrade for your characters. These can range from simple stat increases to modifiers that will set you on a build path right from the jump. For my preview, this seems to be the only meaningful progression Nightreign has to offer, though I imagine the full game may have—
Wait, this changes everything. I thought this is a battle royale. He said at the start, battle royale. Yo. Okay. This changes everything. Is there even fucking replayability in this? Wait, no, seriously. Is there even any replayability in this? It's like you do this once with one class, and then 3 more times, or 7 more times, depending on the amount of classes, and that's it? You're done? Really? That's it? The fact that this is not PvP makes it like, the fuck? What? Oh my god. This seems not a great idea, I'm not gonna lie. Well, considering it's just... Well, okay. Considering you remove the PvP aspect from it, it's kind of more... it has more longevity in the sense that bad players are gonna also play it because it's just a, you know, arbitrary skill check over time, which is fine against AI. But still, this is a little bit sussy.
more in store for us.
I don't even know what to feel about this.
Elden Ring Nightreign is a lot of fun. Pulling off victories by the skin of your teeth provides the same sense of accomplishment you felt when taking down some of Elden Ring's toughest foes. The moment a round ended, I couldn't wait to jump back in to see what kind of build I'd get the next time around. And the cheer my team let out when we finally took down that blasted Day 3 boss reminds me why I love the Souls-like genre so much. In its current form, Nightreign could be seen as a little content light, so I'm incredibly interested to see how it shakes out when it releases sometime in 2025. But for now, it's been a few days since I've played Nightreign, and still, it's all I think about.
Okay, well, I mean, it's gonna be fun at the start, right? There's no way around that part. In any case, that was IGN. What do you think? I expected PvP. Not gonna lie, I expected PvP. What am I supposed to do about that? This is wild. Anyway, bye.